Well, hello there, YouTube. It's Sunday, June 5th, 2022. And here we go with another boring video. Yeah, unfortunately, when you're trying to put together an engine right, you have a lot of boring things to do, and that's going to be measuring. And again, we're here to measure the valves and valve guides. Now, I'm going to do something a little bit differently. Normally, I would just go into the video and then we'll see the results at the end. But instead, I want to save some people some time. I just want to show you the results, what it is that I measured, and I'm thinking that I might need to replace some intake valves. So that's why I want to start right here, because I want your opinion. And then if you want to see how I went about measuring it, you can. All right, so here's the results here. Starting with the right side, because this is the worst side. And you'll see my measurement on the stem diameter is below spec. So it's smaller than spec. I wonder, if you buy new ones, does it really come up to 3.531? Does it? Or 8.97? I question that. Okay, and then there's also the question of my accuracy within this tool. The graduation is 0.001, but I think the accuracy is less than that. I think that's how that really works. And then the next one, this is the left side, and I have one that's, on borderline, right? Now, give or take, my measurement, do I need new valves? I don't know yet. Here I measured all the springs and the size of them and everything. They came all within perfect spec, basically, for both sides. And then here, you can buy different size thrust pieces, but I found it quite interesting that, we have some small ones. All the other ones, like, spec'd out pretty much. But you see the intake over here, and then the exhaust. So on the fourth valves, for some reason, they used the different part number. That's that 4.75 millimeter instead of the 5.1 millimeter. I just found that to be interesting. And then now I want to show you the worst valve. And this is valve number 4, intake. And you already saw that the stem diameter size is below spec, first off. And then I see this. And to me, it looks like this valve is ready to break. You guys know I've never rebuilt an engine before. I don't even know what a brand new valve looks like. What I do know is what valve number 1 looks like out of that same bank. So, the only thing that you see there is a little bit of dust. But I don't see that same kind of cracking that I do on this. And supposedly these are the same, right? These came in and out at the same time. And, this same car, same bank. But I feel like that one there is ready to break. Do valves break? I don't know. But I would say that size not bad, right? But when you start to get there, now you see that? That's where we start to have a problem. That's about the best I can show you guys. So that's kind of what I'm dealing with right now. And let's see, what else we got? All right, so originally what I wanted to do in this video is I thought I'd just be measuring things and then we'd go right into lapping. But if I have to replace valves, well, it makes no sense to start lapping, right? You're just gonna lap material off of your stupid seats, and then you're gonna go ahead and grab some other valves now that don't necessarily match up and grind those in there. So I'm not going to lap valves until I decide what I need to do here. Now, my other question is, can you buy one valve if I only need to buy one? Or can you buy one bank You know, like 1 through 4, buy all intakes. Do I have to buy all intakes and all exhausts? Or do I have to buy all intakes for each side? You notice that other side had one that was right borderline. You know, again, given the variance of my tools, I don't know. And, you know, and my knowledge about this stuff. You know, you can only go in so far. Guys on the internet don't necessarily show you when, uh-oh, here's what I found. Right? They don't show you that. Or they go out and just buy new stuff all the time and start off with all this great new stuff. Well, I don't have that benefit. I'm like the guy in the garage across the street, right? Alright, so look, if you guys like what you see, you know, give me a thumbs up. I'm sorry I'm boring you with all this kind of stuff, but if you're going to be doing this, I guarantee you, if you're not boring yourself with these little details, you're going to come into some big problems later in your build. That's the way I look at it. So I think that, you know, again, that's why I started this out, show you the results. If you want to see how I came up with those results, then continue to watch the video, and I wish you would watch the video. I think, you know, those algorithms. I'm not trying to be a superstar, but I would like to, you know, I don't want to lose subscribers because of all this boring stuff. But that's the way it is. So if you like what you see, give me a thumbs up, subscribe, and click that notification bell, because I'm going to try to start this car. I guarantee I'm going to try to start this car. So I have to try to start this car, right? One way or another. Now, that's basically my questions at that point. I'm not going to lap these valves until I've kind of decided, right? This video staying the way it is, because regardless, we're going to be lapping valves. So whether they're old valves or new valves, right? So we're going to be doing it. That's all set and done. We got other videos coming. You know, I picked up that head, and then after real careful inspection as I was doing this, because I'm measuring the guides, I really don't like the way that head comes out. I might even make a little video about that, because I don't really like it. So I don't like that people don't put in what I put in, right? I mean, if I come in, you see I'm doing a sloppy job, yeah, I can see maybe you do a sloppy job. But when I come in and I'm doing a better job than you, and you've been doing it your whole life, all right, that's all I'm saying. All right, so let's get on to this video, and I'll catch you on the next one. So before we start lapping valves and reassembling the cylinder head, we should go ahead and measure our parts and get a baseline. The tools that you're going to need for that is a 2 to 3 inch micrometer, so you can measure the compensating element, if that's what you want to do, the overall height. I don't even know if there's a measurement for that. I'm just going to measure it. You're going to need a 0 to 1 inch, or gosh, if you're lucky enough to have millimeters, go for it, but I don't. 0 to 1 inch micrometer, so we can measure the stem diameter. And then we're going to need, I don't have a big enough micrometer to measure this, so we're going to use the caliper. And this is a new caliper, by the way. It's stainless steel. It's got a nice wheel and it locks. I just got it not too long ago. I've been using it a little bit. As far as accuracy, it's identical to the other one. You can spend $200 on this, or $10, or actually the last one I think I bought was like $4 or something, and it's just as accurate as any of them. They really are. These are not that accurate to begin with. Okay? But I'm going to use that to measure our spring heights. Okay? And I'm going to use a caliper for our thrust bearing. And that's all I'm going to be measuring as far as that. Oh, let's go look at all the different measurements. All right, so we've got our valve stem diameter, and we have our valve length. Now this valve height retainer, I'll show you what that is in a second. And then I've already showed you the thrust washer height and the compensation height, or compensator height. And this is the thickness of our thrust. Again, it probably doesn't really matter, because when we put it all together, you're going to measure your clearance probably. And then you'll decide which one of these you need. But there's your measurements, and depending on the part number will depend on what size it is. And then these are our valve springs. I'm not going to be testing the preload. I don't have the tool for that. You know, when you're measuring the length of a spring, you know, give me a break. There's quite a bit of variance, because a spring is like this always. It's never like this. I'm only going to measure just this one set, and that's how I'm going to be measuring all of them. I'm not going to be boring you with that. Let's zero that out. All right. Okay, about 49.43, 49.58, 57, 49.67, 49.44. So like if you measure on the outside of that one, that's 48.46. This here's our outer ring, so we want 49. 48.72. So if I try to catch, you know, I'm going to try, you see where we've got a little bit here and a little bit there. I'm going to try to catch between those 2 points and then on the other side and see where we're at. Again, I never thought that this was going to be all that accurate anyways. So I would say right there, it is 49.25. And if I take that as an opposite roughly, and I get 49.36. So 49.25, you know, see I can get 48. So that's why, you know, I just don't know how they want to measure that. Like if I were to set this at 49, right there, right? Can I get a 49? Yes. All right, this is what I'm going to do. So I've got this cut right here, right? If I go on that side of the cut and put it on there and then bring it to the right, I can see that distance. And then when we're measuring all the other ones, we'll see I'll see how close that is, that distance. Because it's impossible to measure a spring. Now we'll measure this one. And this one's supposed to be 45. So I will set this now at 45. And let's see how that comes out. This spring, that's interesting. So this spring is wound in the opposite direction. I don't know if you guys noticed that. Do you know what I'm talking about? So this one here is wound that way. This one here is wound that way. Try it that way. Try it that way. You see what I'm saying? I would say this is pretty much the same as the other one, so it's also a 45, so that's good. Let's go ahead and measure this. Oh, I should note, you know, I did wipe the outside of the springs down, but you know, you want to wipe your stuff that you're measuring, that's for sure. All my tools were left with all my parts. So they're all at the same temperature, and I've zeroed them out. Let's see what the numbers we're looking for on that one. So I already know that this is a 5.1. It's right in the middle. It's stock. So I'm guessing that's what they did, because I actually did this in another video, and then I says, oh, there's a lot more things I can measure. So, I mean, not in another video, but I started to measure it. So, all right, so this is 2.005. 2.005. So it was 2.008 is how it comes. I measured 2.005. Let's go ahead and just measure our length. 118.03. I'll show you what I mean in a minute, but the bottom of this, you can see it's just smooth, right? You can see there's like a little dot and a little circle. But what I want you to notice is that dot, because this one here, it's below grade, below surface. But I guarantee you on the next one that I pull out, it'll be dimpled. So it's different. So there's a tolerance inside here, and I don't know if those things should be flat. I would think so. It's like I should probably, you know, flatten out the other one. So instead of using this for that, I'm just going to measure this because, like, again, I don't even know if there's a measurement for this anyways. So let's just go ahead and just get this on here. That way there we can get an overall measurement. I'd say it's 58. 58. All right, now let's get back into this part. All right, this is the exhaust. So we're looking at 0.35. When you're measuring the valve, can you see how this bevels out? It's actually, you know, like it starts and goes, you know, starts out smaller, then goes, and then goes small again right there. So it's like, on race cars, they kind of do those types of things. They're tapered and stuff, so the airflow flows just right. But I'm more concerned about where this thing here goes inside the guide. That's the measurement I'm interested in. I'm not interested out here. I'm not interested in this part of it, right? I just want to go between here and here. All right. So I've wiped everything down, and then when I put it away, I'm just throwing a little bit of WD-40 on it temporarily for now. All right, so let's go ahead and see where we're at. I find the easiest way is to put your finger on the back side of this thing, so when you go to cinch her down, she doesn't come out. It's pretty kind of easy to measure. So right there we got 350, 1, 2. Let's see. I got a 3, 5, 2, and then I'm going to say 6. You see, I got 0.3526, so I'm in it. And I think I didn't even measure, you know, I just gave it a quick little measurement just to see. So that's nice. We're on the outside of that. So I'm just going to throw one in the middle. Get that just right about there. There we go. All right, 52, 6. Got the same number. Yep, 3526. Let's go ahead and move up. Right about there. I don't want to go too high. One, 2, 6. Gosh, right on the button. This valve height retainer. So I'll show you what that is. So this one here is our exhaust valve. So we're looking between 2.0 and 2.5. Okay. And this is a hard one to measure. And I'll show you why. What we're measuring here is this. Let me see if I can look. It's this. It's that band. The distance between the top to where it starts to cut the bevel, right? For the seat. That one little band right there, between there and there. Right? If I just go like this, I can put an arrow on there. So that's a pretty tough one to measure. I'd say that's it. And I have 2.46. Right? 2.46. And, you know, I can tell by looking at it, it's very uniform. Should just lock it in there. Just to see. I'm going to stick with my 2.46. If anything, I'm on the smaller end. Right? Otherwise, that looks like a brand new valve. But What I do want you to notice, do you notice some of this little pitting? I mean, it's not bad. See that? Now that's what our, that will be what we do to clean that up when we lap it. All right, so 2.46 is what we're going to claim that height is. It's probably 2.5. So that's how I measured everything, and now I'll show you the results of this one. So these are our final results for valve 5, the first one here. And you can see that we're all within limits. Our valve stem diameter is right there. Our valve length is right there. Our valve height retainer is right there. The compensation element, I have no idea, but I measured 58. Here's our thrust piece, and that measured 0.2005, and we're supposed to be 0.2008, so we're right there. And then our final over here, I went ahead and I measured the outside diameter, and I measured the wire diameter. So just, I realized I had the numbers there, so why not? And you can see they came out pretty much identical to spec, everything there. And so that's valve 5. And as far as I'm concerned, valve 5 came out really good. So now I'm going to go ahead and wipe this all down and put a little bit of WD-40, put it back in my little box, and continue and do all the rest of the valves. I'm on the intake valve number 5 right here, and this is what I wanted to show you. See that little dimple? It's part of the machining. When they just took it off, they just didn't square it off. I don't know if it should be squared off or not, but I wanted to share that with you because that is part of it. Okay, these are our final numbers, and this is the left side. So cylinders 5 through 8. And you can see everything is looking pretty good. It's all within limits. I mean, we're on the low side here on valve 8 a little bit for the stem diameter. That's the smallest, I mean, I might have measured higher, but I recorded the smallest area here. And it was pretty true all the way through. And everything else looks pretty good and within limits. And this is our springs for that left side. Cylinders 5 through 8, intake and exhaust. And again, everything is like right in. This stuff, it's super hard to measure a spring. I showed you why earlier. But, I feel that these are the numbers. That is exactly what I got. This is the right side. Unfortunately, I'm over my limit here. We're a little bit thin on our valves. But look though, we're borderline. I mean, that's 3 10,000ths or 2 10,000ths, right? I mean, come on. I could be up, my variance is off that much, but regardless, we're getting up to the upper part. Right, so that's the only thing here. Otherwise, everything else in this is looking pretty good. It's all within limits. These are our springs, and again, this came out identical all the way through. There's no real discrepancy there. You can see that our intake is 1863 on this one, which means that this one here was a different part number. Where all the other ones were right in there, maybe this other one, valve 8, is another one. You see that, how I have an 1865 over there as well? All right, so now I'm going to measure my guides. That's these right here. These are guides. We've got 2 per cylinder. I kind of zoomed up down here because I want to show you exactly what we're going to be doing. But let's talk about the tools. To measure the inside, I'm going to use this. This is part of my Starrett, and I got a link in the description. It's a small hole bore gauge. Self-centering. It's a really, really nice tool. Very, very, very nice. I have the 4-piece set. I will be using a 0 to 1 micrometer to measure our bore. I'm going to go ahead and do the inside. So if you've never used these tools before, you just kind of squeeze those in so it can fit in the hole, right? So now that can fit in, and then now I don't want to go all the way to the top, I don't want to go all the way to the bottom. I'm going to check it probably in 3 areas. So it's going to be about a quarter way down in the middle and then down towards the bottom. So I'm just going to go ahead and just take it right here, and I'm going in, right? Here I am in it, and I'm going to open it. There we go. So now I go ahead and try to find the center, let it center itself. And that's kind of what it is. It's a very nice little tool. And you know, it's so nice that you don't even have to worry about it scratching. It's just so smooth and everything. I mean, not that I wouldn't worry about it. Alright, so now I'm just going to measure it. I should point out the numbers that we're looking for here. So those are our numbers. I bumped it, so I have to do it again. Sorry about that. Point 3, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 3 probably. That's exactly right. Wow! Do you guys see how good this tool is? I mean, my first try and it comes out exact to the measurement for the inside diameter. More towards the bottom now. Or maybe I'll flip it around and check it on that side. I'm going to go towards the top right here. Okay, 50, yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 3. 5, 4, 3. There you go. Wow, I can't believe how consistent this little tool is. Ah. So now you see how I measure the inside. I'm going to go ahead and measure all of them now. But basically, that's all I'm doing is to Starrett. And you can see it was pretty easy and pretty darn consistent and exactly within spec. So these might even be new guides. I have a funny feeling these are new guides. All right, so I've measured all the guides. I measured towards the top here, and then in the middle, and then on the other side as well. And they all came out identical. And there's our numbers, 0.3543. And it was, so these are probably fairly new. As a matter of fact, you see that I have an OD as well. Well, you can't really measure the OD, not this way. The actual OD is down, let's see, can I prop this up a little bit? So that's a snap ring. Sure does look like it at least, but the actual outside diameter is inside there. So you can't really measure that. But I measured all the insides, and so that all came out within spec. So that's it for this head as far as that part of the measurement. All right, do you see that JK and then 2415 and then 199? You know, I don't know what that means. I'm thinking it's a machinist who may have worked on this. Is it possible that January 99 is when they did a valve job on this thing. So I just wanted to point that out. And then, you know, you see this thing here as well. I don't think it comes like that. You see, because it says US. Just pointing these little things out. This is on the driver's side. There's the part number right there. You know, there's a J on this side as well, I noticed. Let's see, see it? So I don't know exactly what that means. I don't see, you know, any J's or anything on this side. You can see this says 87, and if you guys remember, my other head said 86 on it. And I thought that it had been, you know, replaced with an 86. But come to find out, Mercedes did this quite often. My car was manufactured February. So obviously it could have used the previous year. I've even found people on the internet, and I've even contacted them because they're showing their heads, trying to sell them on eBay. And I said, hey, you know, that's not the head you said it is. That's from a so-and-so. And he goes, no, I'm original owner. And that's the way it is. And then I talked to my machinist, and he says, oh yeah, that happens. So I have a complete numbers matching. All right, so now that I've measured this one, I'm going to go ahead and we're going to get the one that the machinist has done for us. All right, so this is the head that came from the machinist, and he's got it all bundled up here. I'll try to save that bag. That'll come in handy. I don't like this one little, you know, like I can catch my fingernail on it. You know, he says, oh no, that's fine. It'll be fine. It'll seal fine. Really? You know, I don't like to bring it somewhere and get it back in worse condition than when you brought it. I mean, it's not in worse condition. Obviously, you guys remember how this looked. I mean, it looks better, but that doesn't mean it is better. So I'm going to definitely clean it before I start sticking things down these guides and measuring them or anything. So that's what I'm going to do. Look at that mirror image, right? It's pretty shiny. I've cleaned it up, and I went ahead and I measured all the guides. And here's our final results. Look at that. I told you they looked like they were new. They felt like they were new, and every one of them measured new. Right, standard as new. So we're at the smallest of the opening there, which is really good. You know, that way there we know that our inside diameter at least is on the small end, so we shouldn't have any valve problems. So now we're going to get ready, and we're going to prepare to do some lapping. And we're going to take a close look at this. You know, these are all, you know, he cleaned it with a, you know, they sandblasted this, and look at how beautiful it looks. Now, seating wise, I don't know. But this looks better than the one that I did, because all I did was just clean. So that's the next thing I'm going to do to this head.